The early 1990s saw a resurgence in hard rock. I mean, yeah, we had the grunge movement, getting started, and we had like average heavy metal bands like Maiden and Priest getting ready to, do maybe one or two more albums and then take a hiatus. Kiss was going through a tragedy, losing a member due to cancer. But two great iconic bands that came out of the 70s, right around the same era of Kiss and Aerosmith and Blue Oyster Cult, Black Sabbath, Zeppelin, UFO. One album came out in 1991, the other came out in 1992. And I'm going to take two of my favorite hard rock albums from the early 1990s and I'm going to pin them against each other. How's it going, old schoolers? You're kicking it old school, Russell J.S., and I am your host, Russell J.S. Two bands. I got my book out. It's been a while, been maybe a week or so since I've done this, but I'm ready to go ahead and I'm going to pin Rush Roll the Bones versus Black Sabbath Dehumanizer, two of my favorite albums from the early 1990s, right up there with Nirvana, Nevermind, Pearl Jam 10, the Black Album, Megadeth's Countdown to Extinction, Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, and many other great hard rock acts to put out music of the time. Now, what was great is, here's the thing, Ronnie James Dio came back to the fold of Black Sabbath. I guess what happened was Ozzy had just put out No More Tears, and it became a commercial success, probably his biggest commercial success since Blizzard of Oz or Diary of a Madman. And Sabbath, after Ronnie James Dio during the 80s, had gone through a couple singers. I mean, even the guy from Deep Purple sang for Sabbath on one album, and he was pretty much like what Vinnie Vincent or Mark St. John would have been to Kiss, one album wonders. But what's going to happen is I'm going to put these two albums, they're two of my favorite hard rock albums of the early 1990s. I mean, both that I used to listen to on cassette back to back. I mean, I think I wore out my cassette copy of Roll the Bones as well as my cassette copy of Dehumanizer. But one of the things I'm going to do is I'm also going to put Dehumanizer up against Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears, see how they measure up. I think Dehumanizer is a far superior album than No More Tears. And remember, if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below. It helps algorithms. And tell your friends, tell your mom and dad, about Kicking It Old School. And, tell them about the monthly narc. Tell them about the weekly JS, which I'm going to have another video out of that soon because I did do one this past weekend. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do one this weekend. Without further ado, let's put these bad Oscars against each other, shall we? Okay. Roll the Bones versus Black Sabbath, track number 1. Dreamline versus Computer God. You know what? I love them both. So I love the intro to Dreamline, and I love how Computer God sounds. I mean, it sounds like old school Sabbath. So I'm giving them each a point. Bravado versus After All the Dead. I'm going with Bravado. Bravado wins. Roll the Bones versus TV Crimes. You know what? I love them both, so they both get a point. Face Up versus Letters from Earth. I'm going to go with Sabbath on this one. So far, Rush and Sabbath are tie. All right, now let's see. Face Up versus Letters from Earth. Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm going with Sabbath. Let's see. Where's My Thing? Yeah, that sounds like a personal problem. Where's My Thing versus Master of Insanity. Sabbath is getting this one. So let's see. The Big Wheel versus Time Machine. What can I say? I'm going with the, you know what? I love them both, so I'm going with both Rush and Sabbath. Hearsay versus Sins of the Father. Or should I say Hearsay versus Sins of the Father? What can I say? I do really love them both, so they each get a point. Ghost of a Chance versus Too Late. I have to go, Too Late is really an awesome track, love it and everything, but I don't know, something about Ghost of a Chance sounds like something about life. Neurotica versus I. You know what? I think I was that video with the skateboard kid, or no, I was TV Crimes, but still, not to be mistaken for Kiss's I from their album Music from the Elder. I is a good tune, but I have to go with, I'm going with Neurotica. You Bet Your Life versus Buried Alive. Oh boy. And you know what? I also, I thought ahead of time, this could be a tie. So I brought our good buddy George Washington, and here's the thing, looks like it's going to be a tie because you know what? The last two tracks on both albums, Rush's You Bet Your Life going up against Sabbath, Buried Alive. I love them both, so they each get a point. And you know what? Both CDs are tied by 9 points. So here's how we're going to settle this once and for all. What can I say? I really do love both these albums. So heads, it's going to be Rush. Tails, Black Sabbath. And looks like it has, let me go ahead and lift the quarter. It has landed on heads. So Rush wins the tiebreaker. And look at this, I've got this is so cool how I've kept record of a lot of these albums. I put it against each other. I put the Ramones against the Misfits. And the next one that I'm going to do is going to be the debut, two debut albums are going to duke it out. We're going to have Kiss's debut self-titled versus Van Halen 1. Oh, think about this, The Master and the Apprentice. Because if you know your history about Van Halen or Kiss, Gene Simmons discovered Van Halen at a club in LA when they were touring in support of Love Gun. And he flew them out to New York and they recorded a demo. It didn't really go anywhere, but they did, however, manage to secure a record deal with Warner Brothers. So there you have it. Rush wins this one. And now I'm gonna go ahead pretty soon. I'm gonna get ready to make the video of Van Halen versus Kiss, or Kiss versus Van Halen, self-titled debuts, duking it out. And I'm gonna go ahead and prepare this. I'm gonna write out the tracks, and I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to put this up against No More Tears. So there you have it right there. So I guess I must like Roll the Bones much better than Dehumanizer. We'll see how much I love Dehumanizer, if I love Dehumanizer more than I love No More Tears. Odds are I'm going to love Dehumanizer. There's something about the Ronnie James Dio era Sabbath I don't know what it is. I mean, Ozzy's the original man, but in my opinion, he was really better. He would have been better off as a solo artist by that time anyway. I mean, and you know what? He surpassed even Sabbath's expectations. But at any rate, that was another album versus album, track by track. Remember, leave comments in the box down below. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets. You know, let's go on let's go on the Russell J.S. channel and kick it old school. And, you know, as always, I'm wishing you all the best to keep it real, keep it chill, keep kicking it old school, keep playing Atari, keep playing Nintendo, keep playing Sega. Listen to 80s rock and watch 80s TV shows, and you know, watch 80s movies and 90s movies, 90s rock, 90s everything, old school everything. Enjoy it all. Embrace it, because that's classic stuff, man. I also wish you, as always, Godspeed. May the force be with you always.